Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of DGS2. We are starting case 5 today, the final case of this game. And I know it's really hard to see on here, but it says the resolve of Naruhodō Ryūnosuke. So it is a continuation of the case that we started in case 4, and we're gonna finish it up today. Start this and be done with it and then be very sad because it's over. I'm going to be very sad when it's over because it has been a pretty crazy ride of a lot of things happening, and it still makes me very sad this is not localized. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on started with this. It has been some time since I've actually done some recording for this, so forgive me if we're all just a little tad rusty because we had a long break in between 4 and 5 before we started working on this. So, let's go. But to overwrite your stuff? Yeah, that's fine. We are not actually getting any narrations at the beginning of this one. We're just gonna go right into it. As you can see. It is November 3rd, 9:14 a.m., the Old Bailey Defendants Lobby. Oh shit. Sorry, the music just scared me. We have a change in tracks, too, if you just noticed. I thought it wasn't even gonna start playing until after I skipped this, but okay. Enjoy the soundtrack. Today is finally the day. Today is the day that everything will be decided. Susato-san, I'll be counting on your help today. Are you okay? Susato-san? What happened to you, Naruhodō-sama? Just saying I'd be counting on your help. I think someone is a little nervous about today too. Oh god. I'm not sure if it's the game or it's just really loud. I'm gonna change the volume again. Let's try it at that volume. I thought 4 was the right octave, but it feels like it's a little too loud. I'm so sorry. I look forward to working with you today too. Incompetent though I am. You are non-competent. Please, do your best. Could you maybe start by letting me up? I'm so sorry. But when she gets really nervous, now she just throws Naruhodō. Sato-san. She's acting awfully strange today. I completely understand, of course. After all, not only did she just find out that her own father was the partner of an internationally renowned famous detective, but... Good morning! Lord Van Zeeks. I place myself in your care. Huh? What did he just say? What? Nothing. I look forward to working with you today. This is weird. His face is stern, but he's acting very agreeably. Ever since yesterday, he hasn't been very Grim Reaper-y. He was never the Grim Reaper to start with. True. The Grim Reaper, huh? Now that I think about it, maybe I really should have rejected that name when they first started calling me that 10 years ago. Huh? As a result of me silently accepting that moniker. As a result of me acting under the name of the Grim Reaper, this is where we now find ourselves. But that wasn't your fault, Van Zeek-sama. Accepting that name has caused a dramatic decrease in the number of crimes in this city. That's why you originally took on that name. Thinking about it now, it wasn't just that. What do you mean? There were rumors at the time that the one truly behind the Grim Reaper was my brother's ghost. That makes sense. Crimit was robbed of his life by that serial killer, but he returned as the Grim Reaper. And he was wielding the sword of justice in my stead. That was the rumor. Actually, we heard about that too. At the time, I felt as though my guiding light had been snuffed out after losing him. And so, perhaps I simply wanted to feel Crimit's presence in some small way. Even if it was as some phantom that someone had just invented.
Must have been very important to you. Crimit Van Ziek-sama.
In any case, there is only one fact here that really matters. And that's that you didn't kill anyone. I'll be certain to prove that in today's trial. I never thought this day would come. In your eyes, I see the true light of one who seeks the truth. I'm forced to admit that you're a proper defense attorney. Lord Van Zieks. Incidentally, the music stopped. Where is the scent of that refined-smelling tea that keeps wafting through here coming from? Iris-chan, when on earth did you...
Yeah, this is my special blend of herb tea. It's good for clearing your head. Holmesy rather fancies it too.
Thank you. Aww! I feel like I might never see anything like this again. You seem a little different today from usual, Iris-chan. Kind of quiet, or
I am not.
She must still be thinking about what happened yesterday. About the record she took from Dr. Sith's operation room.
Now then, do your best, you two. I've got to get going soon, so... Huh? You're leaving?
Iris-chan, I was hoping you'd watch the trial today.
I really did want to stick around and cheer you on. But I've got some things of my own to prepare.
Prepare?
Oh, and take this, okay?
This is the doll that's always hanging from your bag.
Yep, it's a charm. It's Holmesy. I made it myself.
Holmes-san. Wonder why she chose to make him a rabbit.
In today's trial, if you find yourself driven into a corner that you can't escape, just try pulling Mr. Bunny's ear as hard as you can.
Huh? Pull the ear?
Yep, it's a good luck charm. I'm sure you'll be needing it.
Iris's charm, Bunny Holmes-san. She told us to yank his ear if we're in trouble. That means we are gonna get in trouble.
Need it? Do you mean good luck? I had a little peek into the courtroom earlier. The atmosphere in there was pretty much totally different from usual.
It sounds as though that person has decided to act out in earnest. Huh? Baroque, what do you know?
Come to think of it, Iris-sama, where's Holmes-sama? Actually, he never came home last night. I thought so.
Susato-san, did Professor Mikatoba also not...
No, he didn't. I sent a telegram to the hotel this morning, but... It sounds as though none of them returned to the hotel.
Where did they go? None of them?
Yes. Neither my dad, nor Jigoku-sama.
Jigoku? The judge?
Yes. I thought it was strange that we didn't see him yesterday.
Defendant! Defense! It's almost time for court to convene. Proceed to the courtroom at once.
Well, do your best then, Naruhodō-kun. You too, Susato-chan.
Right, thanks, Iris-chan.
You too, Reapy.
I thank you for that fragrant cup of tea. It was quite soothing.
I'm so glad.
Oh my god, those two!
In that case, let's head outside, or inside, Van Seek-sama.
Sorry, my dog growled because my other dog is squishing him in the bed. He's just like, I don't like this. Lord Van Zeeks has always been a formidable opponent in court. But today, I'm going to fight to prove his innocence. This time, my opponent is my best friend, a man I trust more than anyone, Asogi Kazuma. A few months ago, he traveled across the ocean as if guided by something, and arrived in this country. And now I understand. All these mysterious twists of fate were all so that we could face each other in court today. Fate is a funny thing, isn't it? Okay, deep breaths. This portion of the trial is going to be quite a doozy. It stops being funny. Well, it's still funny, but it's not as funny as it was during the first day. The same day, 9:30 a.m., Old Bailey, the Supreme Court. The atmosphere in the courtroom is even heavier than usual. You feel the gallery members' frigid gazes as if they're stabbing me.
Naruhodō-sama, look at that!
Oh! Lord Heart Vortex! Why is he at the judge table? Did you know about this, Asogi?
This case goes beyond the death of just a single detective who has already been murdered. This trial has become one that has rocked the English justice system to its core.
The condemned criminal broke out of prison the night he was to be executed, and there was an illegal shooting. Additionally, someone within the prison would have needed to cooperate in the breakout plan.
Currently, the leaders of legal systems from many nations around the world have gathered here in London. On the honor of the great British Empire, we shall today reveal the truth in this trial. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I declare court to be in session. And I, Heart Vortex, claim all the rights available to me as the presiding judge.
Why? But why? I don't want him to be this. I don't want him to be the final judge. Why? The six flames representing votes.
Picking up where yesterday's trial left off, the members of the gallery in today's trial are all members of our nation's fair legal system. They shall bear witness to today's trial.
By which you mean your henchmen, do you not, Lord Vortex?
Personally, I'm deeply disappointed by all this, Lord Baroque Van Zeeks. After all, you were an outstanding prosecutor. Just like your brother, Klimt Van Zeeks.
Are you really gonna throw that card on him?
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare court to be in session. This is the fair and just trial of the defendant, Baroque Van Zeeks.
Okay, a lot just happened. First, his gavel was this freaking cane that made a really, really unique sound, and then this music.
Allow me to ask both the prosecution and the defense. Are you both perfectly prepared to make your cases?
The defense is ready.
The The prosecution is ready as well.
In yesterday's trial, a shocking fact was revealed. The victim, Detective Gregson, had another side to him that Scotland Yard didn't know about.
Apparently, he had a special mission that he was hiding from the Yard.
And the man had an accomplice.
Mr. Everett Dame Watson. The victim gave him his ID and had him pretend to be Detective Gregson in order to create an alibi for himself. His goal was to give the impression that he was conducting investigations according to the instructions he was given by the Yard.
At the end of the trial, Mr. Dame Watson regained his memories. The memories he'd sealed away in the depths of his heart in order to protect himself. 10 years ago, as the head jailer, he allowed a condemned criminal to escape.
Everett Dame Watson is currently undergoing treatment at St. Antrude's Hospital. He's already regained his composure and has signed an affidavit. An affidavit stating that on the day of the incident, he disguised himself as the victim and went to perform an undercover investigation of the Red-Headed League.
The detail that ended up becoming a sticking point was the victim's time of death. The defense presented the possibility that the victim had actually been murdered the day before the incident, based on the fact that the victim's pocket watch hadn't been wound.
The prosecution has something to report regarding that detail.
Oh? Well, let us hear it then, Prosecutor Sugi.
The result of a secondary autopsy by the coroner, which I stood witness to.
I'm so sorry. I thought my dog was gonna sleep, but no, he decided to start barking. So, my bad for what just happened there. I have had to move him to the other room, so hopefully there's no more interruptions. Oh, God.
Is that the defense's claim was correct. That was admitted. There's the possibility that Detective Gregson was killed on October 31st, the day before the incident. This is the updated autopsy report.
However, the crime lab's official opinion was already submitted yesterday. The opinion that the victim's time of death was 5 p.m. on November 1st.
There were indications of the time of death having been forged. It's possible that the body was refrigerated in order to slow decomposition.
Impossible. There is no household in London that possesses a large enough icebox to accomplish such a thing.
However, that's no more than a theory. It's a possibility indicated by the evidence that we must investigate.
Very well. The court shall accept that new record into evidence. However, if what is recorded here is indeed the truth, then, naturally, that would mean that the victim's actions the day before the incident are quite significant.
Precisely. After all, that day Detective Gregson had slipped away using Mr. Dame Watson as his proxy. We can assume that it's possible that the actual murder occurred in the midst of his special mission.
It sounds as though the prosecution has an answer.
Scotland Yard was investigating it all as of yesterday. The prosecution believes that it should begin its report with the results of the investigation. Now then, escort the first witness to the stand.
And it's Gina.
Witness, state your name and occupation.
Inspector Gina Lestrade. I'm a detective representing Scotland Yard.
Part of that was simply her own assertion, but it's true for the most part.
What's Gina-san doing here again?
What, Naruhodō? You're making a face like, what's Gina-san doing here again?
Huh?
I'll have you know, I owe the boss my life!
Oh? Detective Gregson?
I was taken in by the boss of the alleys of the East End and became a detective. And thanks to that, I finally understand what it means to be alive. That's why the one who should be testifying for the boss is me!
Gina-sama.
I heard it was actually Home-san who arranged all that, though.
Anyway, according to the results of the investigation conducted by the Yard, it's true. Detective Gregson had indeed accepted another mission, separate from the police.
Dear God.
Judging by the look on his face, it looks like Lord Vortex already knew that.
Now then, are you ready, Gina Lestrade? You will now report the results of Scotland Yard's investigation.
Yes, sir!
Probably only have time to listen to her. We're probably not going to cross-examine her in this video, I don't think. The victim's movements the day before.
The rule is for yard detectives to accept orders from headquarters and investigate accordingly. We searched the boss's office and found a notebook with secret plans written in it that differed from those orders. According to those, that day the boss was going to investigate a smuggling transaction. It must have been a huge operation that the police department didn't know about yet. By the way, there's more than one person saying they saw the Grim Reaper there.
Smuggling?
Don't ask me, it was all written in here.
Tobacco, tea, spices, herbs, all sorts of smuggled goods end up in London. Every so often, black markets are held somewhere in order to sell those goods. There were known rumors to that effect, but the police still don't have any leads.
So Detective Gregson was investigating the location of that.
There's intelligence stating that there are high-ranking members of the government involved in the black market. In order to prevent information being leaked to those involved, he operated in secret and attempted to prevent the exchange at the place where it was due to be conducted, all without informing headquarters.
And where was the exchange going to be conducted?
The room of a certain club where gentlemen from London's top echelons gather. And it just so happens that the defendant was there that day as well. That's what Scotland Yard's investigation concluded.
Ridiculous! I didn't hear anything about that.
Those who were present at the club testified to that fact. There's no mistaking that the defendant, Lord Van Zeeks, was there.
What a fascinating testimony.
No! Van Zeek-sama! He didn't say a word about that to us.
That's a problem.
This means that Lord Van Zeeks had an opportunity to murder the victim.
In that case, defense, you may conduct your cross-examination.
Okay, that was freaking spooky. You know what? I think we should let's just go with it. Let's just roll. We'll go slightly over. It's okay. Let's just roll. Doesn't look like I'm pressing all the statements anyway, so I think we can just see if we can get this done. Sorry, that clanging sound from his gavel cane is just, ugh. Alright, let's see. We're on the third statement. By the way, where was that transaction supposed to happen?
Ah! That was also recorded in the boss's notebook!
As I previously stated, it was in the room of a certain club.
So I heard. If possible, I'd like to know the name of that club.
It doesn't matter.
What? Huh?
A transaction may occur at that club again someday. Therefore, there's no need to reveal the name here.
But why not?
What? But all we have to do is read what's written in here. Oh, by the way, I finally finished learning how to read recently. I worked really hard at it, so I'd like to try it now. Reading this, I mean.
The judge hasn't banged his gavel yet. Should I press the issue of the side of the transaction? Demand to hear it? Wait and see. Demand to hear it. Why is Asogi not letting us hear this name? It's just a name. Just let us have it. This trial is unpublicized and top secret. I should think there's little worry of information being leaked.
It's possible that there are members of the British government involved in the black market. We must proceed with caution. I'm sure that's the prosecution's opinion on the matter.
The prosecution has no objections.
And now he just turned it around! Asogi.
It's true that Detective Gregson was investigating the black market. However, as for whether he was pursuing the matter that day, there's no proof. If the defense insists, the prosecution sees no need to impede his investigation.
Alright, got it! That means I'll just have to read it out smoothly for everyone then, huh?
Gina is so excited to, like, read stuff to people. It's adorable. But also, Asogi is... I think Asogi's just gonna play a game of, like, screw Vortex. I do what I want from the looks of things. Anyway, new testimony!
The place where the transaction was supposed to take place was a club called the Bara Block.
Alright, we do have something to present, but first we need to actually examine this first. So this little note that came from Ikitoba, we flip this around, and we're gonna read this.
Oh, this appears to be a ship ticket, doesn't it? The steamship RFS Bar Block, first class cabin, cabin number 1. Departing Yokohama on September 11th, arriving in London November 1st.
This must be the steamship Professor Mikitoba and Judge Jigoku came over on.
It seems that it made port in Dunkirk, France, the night before it arrived in the Great British Empire.
It's already been a year since we arrived in London on the RFS Alacre, huh? Not every day you buy a ship ticket. I think you should have kept it as a souvenir. That's not something we should be focusing on right now.
I agree. I shut mine away in my diary.
I've been carrying mine in my wallet and walking around with it this whole... Wait, it's gone.
I suppose perhaps that's just men for you.
She let out a little sigh at me. I think it's just Naruhodō. I don't think it has anything to do with men. Professor's letter of introduction. A letter from Professor Mikitoba to Chief Officer Barricade, introducing us. It seems to have been written on the back of a ship ticket. Alright, well, we're gonna present this now. Now that we have that information. Okay, wait. Is it gonna show me? No. Okay, good. I was like, dude, is there like another piece? Let's present it. I was like, is there like another piece of evidence that just shows the backside that I present? No? Okay. I read that in this country, there are social meeting places known as clubs.
They seem to have an image as a place where gentlemen of a certain age gather at night to play cards.
It's not the type of place a foreign exchange student like you will ever be allowed to set foot in.
Excuse me? Who the heck do you think you are? Aren't you an exchange student, you idiot? God! Who are you to tell me not to go somewhere? Gosh! Did the transaction really occur at a club called the Bar Block?
The matter is still under investigation. We haven't found proof yet.
Unfortunately, you may never find such proof.
What do you mean?
The place that Detective Gregson went in secret on October 31st was not a club. That's why.
Quite a bold move, calling the investigation of our nation's main police force into question. If it wasn't a club, then what do you claim it was?
A steamship.
A ship?
This is the proof.
This is... I swear to you that this black-clad youth isn't suspicious.
It's the part on the back.
Tell us these things sooner. You're right. This appears to be a steamship ticket. For the RFS Barra block.
The steamship RFS Barablock. So there coincidentally happened to be a ship with the same name. However, there appears to be a contradiction in your claim.
What do you mean?
You do well to note the data port entry on this ticket.
It arrived at Dover Harbor in the Great British Empire on November 1st.
That's the very day that the gunshot was heard on Fresno Street. In other words, the day in question, October 31st, was the day that the victim was carrying out his secret mission. That steamship still hadn't even arrived at port in the Great British Empire yet.
A solid point. That would have made it impossible for him to have conducted an undercover investigation.
The steamship hadn't arrived in England yet. That fact is precisely the proof of the fact that the victim was investigating on the RFS bar block that day.
In that case, show us some proof.
Alright. I'm like, sure.
In that case, the court orders the defense to present evidence. The evidence indicating that the victim was investigating the RFS Barra block on October 31st is...
We are going to present that evidence in the next video. I have to actually do some examining first before I can present it, but that's what's going to happen. So we're going to stop here and continue this in the next video. So I'll see you guys then.
I feel like I should just point this out. I just did the entire recording in one sitting for the first video, and none of it recorded. Anyway, Kennedy Phillips for Vortex.